just 2. That would be good. All right, this is part 2 of class 19 on November 4th, talking about parking lots. We're going to continue working on this parking lot here. We're going to add additional spaces at this time. We'll go ahead and click on this parking space, make it active, go up to our array tool. In our options bar, we're going to set the number of spaces to 16 and move to the second location. So first location is here, second one would be here, and they add after that. So here we've added the additional spaces. We have 2 lines of spaces at this time. I want this to look like asphalt, so I want to go to my Manage tab. Go to my Materials tool. I'm going to create a new material. I'm going to just call it parking lot. I'm going to go into my asset browser, and sometimes things are not as easy to find here, so the type asphalt, not really giving me what I want. Go to site work. I'm going to use light gray. I'm going to set my graphics to use render appearance. So now I have my parking lot material set. So I'm going to go back to this section, select this portion of the site, and I'm going to find my parking lot. And now I've got that set, which is nice. So I've got my parking stripes, and I have my material that looks like asphalt. So it's coming together. This time I want to add some additional pieces on here. Say if I wanted to, this is not going to be the optimal area to add the ADA. ADA should be added like near the center of the building, or the front entrance as much as possible. So let's add an ADA, couple of parking spots for ADA. How are we going to do that? Let's go to site again. Yeah, I can move these guys over. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one, go to right click, go to select all instances, and it's going to select all the instances I created in that one particular array. And with them all selected, I'm just going to use my directional arrows and I'm going to bump them over. And I'm going to put my ADA parking right here. In order to do that, I'm going to actually go back to the Architecture tab. I'm going to go to my Components tool. I'm going to go to Load Family. And I would scroll down to Site. In Site, we have all these different options. You can click through these to see what you can add to it. We've got a bike stand, bollards, dumpsters, so you can add all sorts of fun stuff when you're creating your site. But for this one, we're just going to go to parking. And you'll see we do have a parking space for ADA. So we'll click on that. That's just going to bring that in here. And I'll just drop that right there. So I've got one ADA space there. Technically, I would definitely need a lot more. And I would redo this entire thing, but just to have this work for you, we're just going to use that one space so you can get the idea. I do want to add an ADA symbol right here, handicap symbol. So once again, I'm going to go back to my components, back to Load Family. I do have that option with the parking lot symbol here. And I can bring my parking symbol, drop that there. Let's go to 3D. Let's see how it's looking. It's looking good. Nice. Okay. So in order to kind of fill out this parking lot a little bit more, a lot of times you'll see that there's like islands on either side of it with like different berms and things like that. We can add that as well. So I'm going to go back to my site level view. Back to components. Back to load family. And you see they've already got like these islands that are set, which is nice. Let's take this one. It's very big. So I'm just going to drop it there for now. And I'm going to put one on the other end. So once again, components, load family. Let's take a look at this this island. Is that the one I used? Oh, that is. That's not what I want. Component, load family, island 2. Oh, that's a different shape. Let's just drop that over here. So if I hit my tab button, I can just kind of rotate that. I mean, space bar, sorry, y'all. If you hit space bar, you can rotate that. I'm just going to put that there for now, just to kind of play with it and see what we're looking at. All right, so let's jump back to 3D and see what we have here. So I've got something that looks, whoops, something that looks a little weird, but it's kind of coming together. So this, let's take a look at this island. Let's highlight this island and make it active. Now these are kind of preset that they come in like this. This one is only this size, but let's go into edit type and see what we can do with it. First thing, obviously, we want to do is duplicate and rename that and be like, let's see, island, parking island, parking. So I definitely want to create a new one. Let's make that 20 foot by 5 foot. Oops. This one may not be changeable. Yeah, we'd have to change this one a different way, but you can still use this one, but just not in this capacity. Let me go back and take another look at that and get back to you on that one. But you can still, as you're creating your own parking spaces, add these islands in just to make it a little bit more interesting. Let me check one other thing. That's component. Yeah. All right. Here's some. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so that's a larger one. We do have the smaller ones available. Much better. But I don't want to come in from this angle. I want to do that from right angle from my view here. So components, go to properties. I do have my smaller islands available. Much better. Much better. Great. Okay, so that pretty much covers all the lesson that we have to do today. What you'll be required to do is to, let's jump back to What you'll be required to do is to incorporate the dormers, create that standing seam metal roof for all roof locations, 4 section views, the interior plan for the first floor, and then also the information about the site. I'll get that there later today. So the site you can create to any shape that you want. You will have a required number of parking spaces to incorporate into that, and you can also incorporate roads to the property. You can create more site. Really kind of use your imagination to create this and make it look really kind of interesting. Once again, go into your components, load family. You can go into the parking. There's a bunch of other things in here that you can choose from under sites. You want to include a manhole. There's all sorts of other things that you can play with to create this site and make it interesting. You can also incorporate plantings in here. Go to plantings. There's a few options, not a tremendous amount, but you can always add a couple of trees or something. But you want to make sure that when you add these trees and other things that their elevation is set so that they are not kind of floating out in space, that they are kind of flat to the ground. If we pick this one, notice this elevation is set to -10 feet, so it is within that site. So those are different things that you're going to have to look out for. But basically you'll be doing something like this. You can also create a road. If we wanted to create a road on here, we'll go back to site level. I'll go back to massing and site tab. If I wanted a flat road, I would create split surface. If I wanted a road that just kind of followed the topography, I could use subregion, and I could just draw that in. We wanted the road to come out this way. It's coming outside of that. Let's cancel. Corner tool. Change that to parking lot. I'll still make that parking lot because it's still be an asphalt road. Go to 3D. You can see now I have the road that follows the topography there. You could add sidewalks and really kind of dress this up. The minimum that you need to do is the information that would be required in the written part on the module, but you can go beyond that on all of the things that we have on here. If you do have the time and the inclination, you can do an interiors view for levels 2 and 3. You can add more dormers if you want. You can create as much of a parking lot space as you want, but the minimum requirements will be written, the written information within that mod. So you can go as crazy as you want, or just do the minimum. Usually, a lot of the architecture students do like to kind of flex their design skills a little bit and kind of add a little bit more than what's the minimum that's required. But that pretty much covers it for today's lecture. Before we break, are there any questions?
Can you adjust the contour lines on the how the land lays? Yeah.
These contour lines?
Yeah, because usually they're more rounded or whatever.
No, this well, no, this is just going to come out like the way they are right now because they're going to be following the points that you're adding. So let's do a top-down view. And if I select this site and I go to edit surface and I add a couple more points, I'm going to place a couple more points here. See, it just changes based on the elevation. So if the elevation wasn't so sharp, it may change that. Does this answer your question?
Yeah, I can see how it adjusts that. I just thought maybe there was more. You could make the contour lines rather than just straight like that. They could have some variant, some curves in them or whatever. But I can see how it's changing it. But they're all very angular.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just how we're going to have them come out on here.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, I'll have the recording up on YouTube shortly. And if you do have any questions, shoot me a text. I'll be available today. And that's pretty much it for today's class, y'all.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everybody.